Hi, it's Michelle, and it's day 5 of me sharing just a little bit about my personal journey, which led me to where I am today as a life coach, Kundalini yoga teacher, and owner of O'Shea Yoga in Wyckoff, New Jersey. So as I mentioned yesterday, I'm not going to continue to share a little bit about my previous posts because I want to make these posts as short as possible. So if you're interested in learning about events that happened earlier on in the timeline, it's best to go back to the previous posts. But yesterday I ended my sharing by letting you know about my decision to take a trip to India in March 2012. That decision was made in 2011, right around November, December. And I had shared with you some of the things that were showing up in my life that to me were clues that led me to make that decision to take a trip to India. And those 4 things were, the first thing was a book that I was reading called The Passion Test by Janet Atwood, which was a book that I really, really enjoyed and had a pretty big impact on me. And I started to communicate with the author, and we had received one of her newsletters, and she shared that she was going to be presenting at the International Yoga Festival in Rishikesh, India in March 2012. And she was really trying to encourage and inspire her viewers and her friends to take a trip out to India to spend some time with her, and to also have the experience of being at such an extraordinary annual festival in Rishikesh. So that was the first thing that was showing up. Secondly, I had a fear at that time that I was so determined to conquer, and that was a fear about traveling with myself, traveling alone. Third, I was running a workshop series for young girls, a personal empowerment workshop series, which included stress management techniques that I was teaching. And they included very basic yoga poses, meditations, and breathing techniques. And I knew if I wanted to continue to offer that series, that I needed to formalize my learning and my training in yoga and meditation. So I, started to think about that. And then finally, I had a yearning, I had a longing. Something was missing, and I couldn't figure out what it was because I seemed to have everything in the world. I had a great husband who was always and continues to be so supportive of me and my dreams. I had 4 beautiful, healthy children. I was a life coach, and I absolutely loved that work. And my husband and I have always been involved in supporting charities and organizations through our energy, through our time, through our resources, and that was very meaningful in my life. But again, yet something seemed to be missing. I was longing for something, and longing is different than desire. It tends to be rooted in the soul rather than the ego, which is really interesting. And so I knew, for whatever reason, I knew that yoga would reveal to me what it was that I was missing in my life, what I was yearning or longing for. And it's really fascinating because I had only taken maybe 3, 4, at the most 5 yoga classes before attending the International Yoga Festival, but it was just this inner knowing that it was yoga where I would discover what I was meant to discover. And so those things coming into my life, my awareness of them, and my response to them, and this is really important for you to think about in your own lives. It's one thing to notice these things showing up in your life, right? These divine messengers or messages, but it's another thing to respond to them, to act on them in a responsible fashion. So I made the decision to attend the International Yoga Festival in 2012. I spent 2 weeks in India, and it was the best decision I ever made. It was so life-altering and life-changing and unbelievably empowering. I loved traveling with myself. It was a blast, and I received so much from this experience. I can go on and on about it, but I won't, because this is about my journey that led me to where I am today. I may in the future speak a little bit more about my trip to India and the different aspects of it, but it was in my experience of attending the International Yoga Festival when I took my first Kundalini Yoga class with Gurmukh. I had never even heard of Kundalini Yoga. I took my first class with Gurmukh, and I felt like I had come home. It was so natural for me. It felt so organic. It felt so me. And at the end of that first class, it was about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, I had never felt so alive in my life. You can say I was lit. I had found my yoga, and it was through Kundalini Yoga that I discovered what was missing, what I was longing for. And tomorrow I will share with you what it was that this practice revealed to me. So have a beautiful afternoon and evening, and take care. Bye-bye.